Okay, I was just watching a show called Femfrock. I think that's how she pronounced it. I can't seem to recall. This was a web show discussing the roles of gender in pop culture. The really important part about this is that I'm not sure if I disagree with her or not. You know, what she said was, give or take, factual, but downright bizarre. She went back and she pointed out how throughout the course of video game history, and dating back at least as far as Shigeru Miyamoto and his role in the creation of the video game franchises of today, all used women as static figures, which, I can recall very few times in which she would have been wrong with that statement. Okay, she completely forgot the idea that there was the Legend of Zelda game Wand of Gamelon, where Zelda rescues Link from a magic orb that he got trapped in, but I guess that's kind of inconsequential next to the other 13 times when that role was reversed. And, I guess nobody owned the Sega CDI anyway, at least nobody I know did. So maybe it's not worth talking about. Anyway, yeah, if she hadn't disabled comments on there, I would like to have talked to her directly. Posted a video directly to her and said, I see what you're saying, but there are other instances where you could have seen the reverse. Apparently, she was also supposed to do a video which talked about the role of female heroes and submissive males, which would have been interesting. I just didn't see it posted. But all in all, the whole video took this real tone of inferiority, which kind of got me thinking, what role does gender and race really play in the world today? I'd like to think that we've made it to a point in our own history where white, black, yellow, green, purple, whatever your skin tone is, really doesn't mean anything in contrast to who you are. But any of you who have read the intro to my first book will tell you that I've firsthand seen that you can hate somebody for any reason or no reason. I talk about this time when I went to go pick up my sister from school, and as I was sitting at the bus stop, I went to talk to this young lady who was waiting alongside me, and how she refused to acknowledge me. I walked up to her, I tried to shake her hand, I tried to talk to her, but she just was not interested in anything I had to say. But I'm sitting at this bus stop waiting for my sister. There's this young woman there with her kids, or waiting for her kids, I guess. And here comes my sister walking alongside this young Indian boy. And okay, so my sister's kind of weird. She's got a lot of piercings. Her hair changes color from day to day. She's basically got these rainbow stripes, or did at one point anyway. And weared basically Skittles socks, which are those socks that, go all the way up to the middle of your thigh, and they're, red, orange, yellow, blue, green, running all the way down. Big heavy flannel sweater over it, and a skirt that's longer in back than it is in front. Kind of late grunge, punk rocky. I wanted to just start reading my book right now, but now I'm really getting into this discussion, and I'm going to rant for a few more seconds. And so this woman walks up to her son, who, as I said, was alongside my sister, grabs him and pulls him off to the side and shouts at him, "We don't talk to white people." I'm standing just staring at her at this point, as I was trying to talk to her for the last several minutes, and then she displays this. She grabs her boy, pulls him off to the side, and says, "We don't talk to white people." It didn't even dawn on me until she said that this woman was Indian. Okay, so she wasn't completely stereotypical Indian, but she had like the tattoos on her hands and the roses drawn on her face and that stone between her eyes. So I guess I don't know what that's about, but hey, it's kind of cool. I'm cool with body piercings. I'm cool with ink. If you want to mutilate yourself in any way, shape, or form, I'm okay with that. I used to do the same stuff myself. But my God, that just felt so wrong to me that someone would say that. And that was kind of this moment of revelation where it finally really strikes me. Sexism, racism, these aren't necessarily inherent human traits. These are grandfathered into us. We teach our children to be afraid. We teach our children to be angry. We teach them to be racist. We teach them to be sexist. My grandfather was this highly traditional individual. His name was Warren. I only saw him a dozen or so times in his life because my dad absolutely hated his father. At Christmas, he made this habit of having us all line up around the table. And he would get up, he would walk over to the buffet that Grandma had set up. He would pick up his food and he would sit down. He would cross his hands on the table. He would then wait for the rest of us to go get our food. We would pick it up and we would sit down. He would start eating, and after he finished his meatballs and his cornbread, then he would look around the table and tell everybody else it was okay for them to start eating. I don't remember this, but my dad assures me that this happened. John, my cousin, reached down during one Christmas to pick up his cornbread, and he went to go take a bite out of it while Warren was still eating his meatballs. And Grandpa reached over and picked up his coffee cup, grabbed John's arm, slapped him on the table, smacked him with his coffee cup, and pushed him out of his chair. That was the last time I saw my grandpa before I was 17. And now, that's suddenly emotion that is now instilled in him. For the rest of John's life, as for I'm sure the many of my cousins, they're going to believe in patriarchy because Grandpa believed in patriarchy. This was a man who left Germany circa World War I and burned all of his belongings when he moved here. I can only imagine that means that he had to have had that feeling because his father had the same feeling. And I'm looked down on in my family because I'm this highly progressive person who believes in art and literature and philosophy and science and who is highly spiritually confused. But, okay. I can imagine that this woman whose video I was just watching, she must have had the same background. She must have had a mother who told her that she was weak and she couldn't do anything right, and she needed permission from her father to do whatever. And it's kind of sad, you know? So if I have a message I really want to deliver here, I want to reiterate myself again. We are not necessarily the sum of our parts. We have choices to make in the world. And if there's some part of ourselves we don't like, we can tell our children about it. We can tell them, I believe that I had this problem. I came from a family full of violence and addiction, and I was raised by my grandmother because my grandfather was fucking dead before I knew him, and my mother spent half of her life in jail, and now I have all these insecurities. I haven't been with another person in any sort of tactile way in 10 years. But that doesn't mean that I have to submit to anger. That doesn't mean that I have to succumb to emotion. I could still grow. I could still learn. I can still teach. We all have that right. We all have that ability. Do not be victim to yourself. Learn, grow, be strong, be who you are. Thank you.